at it again, man. RingGangRadio.com in the building. The eye test edition. You know what that means? Yo, PJ, where you at?
It is I. Oh, well, anyway, I am. I'm here back to back. This is crazy. This is crazy times we're living in.
Damn, the Wu-Tang said, yo, we need you on more than just 3 songs this album. So,
yeah, I'm here.
It brought you back. Like, they was like, yo, you keeping this nigga in the studio this week. We'll bang out bad joints. But yeah, man, we back. You know, we switching it up, man. We got, what's his, the nigga who run the bodega, what's his name?
Hey, yo. It's your boy King P, Bodega P. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the eye test today. You know what I'm saying? And I got 20/20 vision, so, you know, my shit is clear. So I'm ready for this eye test. Ring Gang, what up?
And we got Sleepy Brown. I mean,
Sleepy P. Pause, you know what it is. Conscious Pilot, a.k.a. the West Coast Avenger #1 contender. No liftoff. No bodega, just the eye test, man. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Shout out to everyone else in Ring Gang. You know how I do.
All working around the world.
Hell yeah. So we just gonna jump right into it, man. We had some poll topics lately, you know, switching it up. You know, it's a big week of boxing, but, you know, Ring Gang, we versatile. I mean, we do it all. We talk about anything. Nigga, we'll make a podcast about a fucking loaf of bread and you'll fucking listen. So let's get to it. We got the first poll. We dropped that earlier today. You always see this in a lot of fight videos. People just start being in the comments. Do all street fights end up on the ground? So
we will discuss this, that keyboard warriors have been fighting for ages over.
Fuck these keyboard warriors.
It's crazy. The poll results was kind of lacking though, because usually like the MMA niggas show up and they're the first ones to start saying like, no, all fights end up on the ground, and you know guys are, you know, rolling on the floor, tussling, pulling hair, grabbing, trying to do an arm lock and a scissor hold and the Boston Crab and sharpshooter, and niggas think they Bret Hart. So yeah, so I'm just saying, like, where y'all at? Like, I didn't see y'all show up.
I mean, I've seen fights go to the ground by somebody getting knocked out.
Exactly.
I can see that fight happening.
That's the only type of fight should go to the ground. If you get body slammed or dropped.
That's where everybody just goes, ooh, and then they're quiet.
All this damn, like, hold on, let me see if I can calculate the missteps I can take to roll under you and grab your leg and get a single leg takedown on this damn Project Concrete with needles and all types of shit, random shit on the floor.
And nobody will randomly come and kick you in the head.
Exactly. Like, there are only like maybe 2 or 3 scenarios where a fight really should end up in the ground and not really, but like acceptable to go to the ground. Any other scenario, fuck no. You shouldn't be trying to bring it to the ground.
So what's that scenario? It should go to the ground then. Like, if
I think sometimes
like, somebody.
I've lived in Hawaii. You know, I grew up in Hawaii, so I think like the beach and also the fights at beaches and sometimes like on the grass, like parks and shit. You know, if it's on the court, hard top, I can see it happen. But usually, I voted for you know, it's usually stand up. You know,
but like, okay, it's like when someone goes to the ground on the grass and all that shit in Hawaii. Motherfuckers getting volcano slammed and shit. Like, they're not like saying, okay, like, let's just wrestle. It's not no Greco-Roman shit.
No, it's not. They're still throwing fisticuffs usually, right?
I mean, I think because I've seen it happen. Like the one time where I was like, it went to the ground and I wasn't even mad. This nigga put another nigga in a front face lock and just went to the ground and just held him down there and fucking choked him out. I'm like, okay, you know what? In that situation, if you were trying to put him to sleep real quick and just use the ground as pressure, okay, that I can understand. And nobody else was around. I think it was like 2 or 3 other people around besides me, and nobody was going to do anything. And he knew that. But like, A situation where you're trying.
Like that's mad efficiency. I could fucks with that.
Yes, like that, because it's quick, and you're just trying to choke someone out. But if you're trying to do fucking leg locks on the ground and arm bars, like, nah, get the fuck out of here. We're not doing that on the ground. That takes too long. That takes too long, because most people don't even know how to do an arm bar correctly. So it's like, what's the point of you bringing these motherfuckers to the ground to use wrestling moves that you don't even know how to use? Like, come on now.
That, and you're gonna be mad tired in like 10 seconds. It's not gonna last that long as you think.
Yeah, because like, at least with the front face lock, the guy could have done a standing front face lock and subdued him like that. But he took it to the ground just to add a little more pressure and to get him to not get out of it. Okay, you already have him subdued before you even hit the ground. You're trying to get a guy in like a wrestling move on the ground. He's going to be squirming around. You're not even going to be able to even get it on him properly. That's going to tire you out in and of itself.
Yeah, agreed. All that, unless you're getting the old-fashioned scoop, slam, ground and pound, it's like all that ground shit is like out the window, really.
Usually the time I see people try to bring it to the ground is usually 9 times out of 10, it's usually a guy that has the size advantage and he's bigger and he's just like, I'm not gonna fucking throw hands with you. I'm gonna use my size and just body slam you. Like, that's usually when I see it. Usually 300-pound niggas, the first thing they'll try to just grab you and just body slam you.
But there's a slam involved. It's different if you said they grab you and they say, all right, I'm going to just fall forward and land on top of you. It's called the timber hold or something. I don't know.
The image is in my head right now.
It's like, yo, nigga, let go. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, let me go. This Muhammad Ali shit, bro. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm just fall on top of you and my 320 plus pounds. I'm gonna crush your little 5'8" ass.
My stats increase once we hit the ground.
So, like I said, I've seen 3 times where a fight went to the ground and it went like all wrong, either for the person that brought it to the ground or against the or it went bad for them. So I got the front face lock was one of them. I seen another one. This idiot in a bar, mind you, fucking got in a fight with a guy, took it to the ground, and a motherfucker just came up from behind him and just smacked him with a bottle across his head. And like, this is why you don't bring a fight to the ground in a fucking crowded area. Like, I understand it's like it was like almost time for the fucking bar to close. It's like 3:00. But still, there's still enough people in the ground. You don't know you don't know who's with who. Like, you have your back turned, bam, bottle to the head. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, terrible spot to do that.
Yeah, as soon as you said it was a bar, I knew someone was gonna get hit with something.
Yo,
yeah.
Chair, table, bottle, something. Pool stick.
Itself.
Somebody just throw a whole person.
I've seen something close to that happen.
Why would you want it like that? You know what? Honestly, this just emphasizes how important striking is. Because a lot of people don't know, like you can't pull off a lot of these holds and locks and slams unless you put somebody in shock, like with a strike or something, like a fist. Like,
they got to be stunned. Yeah, they got to be definitely.
Yeah. You gotta stun them. Like, it's not like people are like crocodiles and sharks where they grab something, there's like immense pain where you're like in shock and then he starts thrashing you and shit. Like, nah, like,
adrenaline is a real thing. You're not gonna be able to make somebody just fold like that.
Yeah, I hit him. So yeah, we seen like yeah, we seen the examples where that shit just is not practical, man. And even the people who know how to fight on the ground, it's still just not a good look if you don't know how to read the room. And then you got to look at the hard concrete. You know, you don't know what's happening. You know, unless you're in some damn secluded area and you know you're gonna get this guy done up in like 10 seconds or less.
Have a perfect alley scenario like it's Mortal Kombat. Yes.
Yeah, then I wouldn't even try that shit. Like, I've seen fights. What's that? I think it was Silva or one of them. He had It was that locker room MMA fight, and he was getting slammed until he finally put the guy in a hold, and he choked him out. I'm like, nah, nigga, no one's trying to get thrown around the locker room before I could choke you out. Like, fuck all that shit.
It's just one of those where I guess people think of scenarios you do when you're training for it versus what will probably happen when all things could go wrong. You can't assume something that you've just done practice in a controlled, relatively safe environment is going to necessarily be perfect in something as chaotic as out in the street somewhere. There's way too many things going on. Along with adrenaline, you don't know what's going on, who landed the first hit. To imagine that you're going to have this game plan right away, it's assuming that you just can do this without thinking. Not that, oh, he's going to do this, I'm going to move here, like it's those Sherlock Holmes movies. It's not going to be like that. It's way too chaotic.
Yeah, like, I mean, honestly, that's why I say, like, when it comes to self-defense, I always recommend boxing as the very first thing someone learn, so you can learn to strike and get used to the experience of having people throw punches at you and spar. Like, boxing's the only real discipline where you could spar at a high level without, you know, I'm not saying accidents don't happen and you can't get fucked up, but, you know, where you could do moves and shit and you ain't gotta worry about breaking somebody's arm or cracking their shin bone or dislocating a shoulder. And I think I feel like once you get that foundation, at least 6 months to a year, then I think it's easier to transition into other things, because you're not going to get the same level of striking in boxing. You're not going to get that anywhere else. Not Muay Thai, not kickboxing. It's boxing. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. What's
plus,
you gonna say, King P?
I was gonna say, plus the people, like most of the people that try to do takedowns are like so, like they leave themselves so open that, like, if you had any type of striking, you could get them in the middle of them trying to take you down, and you're gonna knock them the fuck out because they just leave their chin out. Let me just, like, if somebody tried to take me down, like, if somebody tried to grab me, I could get off 3 or 4 shots on them before they could even react. Like, that's how bad a lot of people are at, like, trying. Like, I wouldn't recommend it unless, like, there's because I used to run with, like, a couple of the guys that did wrestling in high school. And, like, I would, like, test them. I would, like, okay, you know what? Let me see you try to take me down and see what your technique is without, like, seeing if there's openings in it to where I can, you know, in between countering you or strike to you before you try to get me down. And 2 of them, like, showed me techniques that they have. So at least they knew, like, they knew how to at least get to you, like, in a way that will minimize them, not putting them in a position to where you can get hit. You're always going to be in position to get hit, but at least minimizing it. Some people just don't fucking know how to do anything at all. Oh, let me just grab you. Like, you're going to need your hands to grab you, so what's covering your face? What's covering your body? Like, nothing.
Yeah. And it's like they downplay the whole struggle that you're gonna have physically with you're trying to grab and maneuver somebody and get under their arm or move a shoulder or pin them there. Like, that shit ain't just happening off rip like that. It's not a fucking choreographed fight scene. Like, niggas think they about to film Raid 3 and shit.
I guess the other part to also add is, outside of, like, knowing what to do and, like, you know, basics of this, I think some people don't ever consider just get the hit and run. It's like, you shouldn't even be in that scenario to begin with. But I guess worst comes to worst, it's who can get the first shot off and then control them right away. You don't have to go to the ground. I think people forget that sometimes when people go to the ground, it's usually because of a mistake or a trip or something weird happened and the other person just pulled them down. They're thinking, like, I can perfectly do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, no, most of the time they go to the ground by accident.
I mean, yeah, just look at boxing. Like, how many boxing fights I've seen where motherfuckers will trip, like, get hit in the clinch and trip over another, and then they end on the floor. Like, it's completely by accident. Like, I don't know. It's just funny because I've you know, I got respect for MMA. I'm not going to downplay or disrespect any combat sport. But I had a motherfucker that, like, he was an MMA guy and he watched boxing too. And I remember he was like, well, Floyd would be garbage in MMA because I've seen all these times where Maidana and other people brought him to the ground. Imagine if he was fighting an MMA fighter. I'm like, that was a completely by accident in the clinch when they're tumbling over each other. That's not gonna fucking happen in the octagon. Like, stop it. Like, come on.
In a real street fight, like, shit don't just happen like that. Like, people gotta remember, you got gloves on, like, half these boxers have been in street fights. Like, everybody always think, like, if a boxer get in a street fight, motherfucker just gonna be like, you know what? I can't use my legs or my feet. Yeah, no 3-foot rule here. Let me see what I could do. I just got these two hands, like
I mean,
like, come on, man.
And it's funny because we say that, and it's like people say back, Floyd is a nigga that would fucking throw elbows and forearms at motherfuckers in boxing matches. Like, sneakily, but he'd do it. So imagine what he'd do in an actual fucking street fight.
And then remember, people got their hands free, like, and you're one of these guys who's trying to clinch and grab somebody to take them down. Like, somebody could gouge your fucking eye out.
Exactly.
Fight like man, people fight dirty. Like, it's a fight. There's not even no such thing as fighting dirty. It's a fucking street fight. So
anything goes.
Yeah. So you want to put it up to chance that somebody does that? Like,
it's like, and what if you try and do a takedown? They lift their knee and you just flew your face into their knee.
I was just gonna say that I've actually taught myself that, like, to where, like, if somebody, because I've seen people try to do the takedown where it's just literally they throw their head down and try to like a fucking Goldberg spear. If you did that, I would know how to sidestep and just take your head and just mush it into my damn knee. Like, we're not doing that. You're not Goldberg, nigga.
What up, Heady God?
Word. Yeah, yeah. What it do, any guy? Yeah, this is a little quick surprise one. I mean, just trying to get more active with this shit, man.
It's eye test. You have to be on your toes when it's us.
Yeah, man. When me and PJ link up, it's like we just drop shit randomly on some, like, hi, you know, met the man in the building today at IHOP, like, or some shit, like.
Using, like, older social media, not even like the most current one, to tell people.
Yeah, he sent out a MySpace announcement.
It's like, I think he sent a message on AOL.
Yeah. But damn, yeah, ain't much else to say. Like, we ain't get enough results. It just lopsided. So it seems like everybody just knows then. Like, maybe that's something that you only get from the UFC crowds.
Yeah, we got 13 votes and 85% said no, they don't. So I think we know what the answer is. I think that's enough for me.
Yeah,
the sample size is enough.
I think it's where a lot of people realize, like, in an octagon / ring versus where there's concrete, people are gonna be like, yeah, it doesn't.
And then it's crazy you mentioned that, because when I used to take Atemi Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, and even Arnis, the Philippine art with stick fighting and machetes, some people call it a screamer
or Kali.
Yeah. So,
and he got just said he put this word on his Black Planet page.
That's hilarious.
Oh shit! Oh damn! Nigga brought it back. But nah, what I was saying was back I did this training before. I was always a boxing fan, but I did this training for like maybe 2-3 years, and this was right before I started boxing and going full time deep into that shit. One of the senseis, he used to have us like practice. Like, one time he would have us, because you know how before when you start jiu-jitsu, everybody does the rolls and all that shit, get comfortable and go build that sweat. Kind of like how before boxing, you do your little drills and shit. Anyways, one time he had us go outside and he's like, I want you to do the roll right now on the concrete. Niggas was looking at him like, the fuck you mean? Like, this hard ass shit? He's like, hey. So, and we did it, and I'm like, once you know how to break fall and do the rolls, it's not that bad. But if you're not used to it, and most people aren't, you try to take someone to the ground or do a roll on the concrete out of nowhere, man, you wake up and you feel like you was in a damn tied up in the backseat of a fucking as a kidnapped victim in a Jeep or some shit. Like,
shout outs to JD.
yeah. So it's like, if your body's not used to certain shit, it's a shock in itself doing something new like that. So if you're one of these people who's like, you know, I could officially get someone to the ground, I could do this, you're gonna have to every once in a while, you know, practice that shit on some real concrete, real life situation. Because if not,
you will never be ready.
Yeah, you'll never be ready. Like,
I mean, I've seen someone like basically damn near break their knee rolling on the ground. So in a controlled environment. So that just that says it all right there.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, it's something you gotta practice. Like, if you don't practice rolling inside or doing cartwheels inside, the last thing I'm gonna tell you is do that shit outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're like, cause at least you have the form, but you're still gonna have to adjust it a little bit to concrete. So yeah, and it's like you said, why take that chance? Nigga swing a bat at you, you gonna roll under it?
Like it's Elden Ring with Dark Souls.
Oh man, but yeah, that's just the first topic. You know, we gotta keep it, you know, with the boxing and fighting. But yeah, like, I definitely recommend, as far as if you're trying to get into martial arts, you know, start with boxing first, get your striking up, because when people look at street fights, they think boxers are helpless. You got to remember, a lot of the pivots in boxing and the lateral movement in boxing takes away those low kicks, and like King P said, if you time somebody coming trying to just spear you and not really looking or dipping their head or shifting their head or anything, you could get them with an uppercut, a knee, all that. There's just so much shit out there, man. If you're not the elite of the elite, do not do that shit. If you ain't gonna go 13, hem a nigga up in 5 seconds or less, and nah.
Says go 13.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's the shit you gotta be on, though. Like,
he would have just shot him then.
Nah, Gogo got hands now. Like, hold on, chill. Nah, he got hands. Like,
yeah, if he has to, but otherwise, he's always gonna ice you from a distance.
But that's what I'm saying, because, you know, the rare time he got to throw hands, because, you know, everybody was always like, man, no one does one-on-one fights no more. Everybody this, everybody that. Then I'm like, how come you could go to Twitter any random day of the week and there's like 15 fucking one-on-one fights being circulated? Keep thinking there's no more one-on-one fights.
It's like, it's the one-on-one fights outside of your building.
Yeah, it's like, bro, like, where are all these one-on-one fights happening? They're all over the world on the internet and shit, but everybody around the world says they're not happening no more.
No one wants to admit it.
Yeah, that's what it is, because everybody wants to be like, man, nigga, I'll pull out that burner, nigga, fuck all that. Fuck this, like, you seen Indiana Jones, shit. Come at me with that sword and shit and throwing hands.
Someone will sneak up behind you.
Oh, of course, but this is the thing. You can't pull it out in time, or someone get the drop on you. What that shit gonna do? You just gonna be a fucking speed bag. I'm just saying, because it's like, we see in one-on-one fights, but anytime y'all even on the collar, you see this shit. The first thing, whenever it's a fight, the first thing people say is, man, like, nigga, shoot him, man. Like, ain't no one have one-on-ones no more, man.
Yeah, I don't fight. I shoot.
I don't fight. I lift 4 pounds, all that shit. But it's like, where are these videos coming from? Like, people are having to throw hands because you can't just fucking. This ain't boxing. There's no presser for the fucking fight, nigga. Fights just happen, and you know.
Good lord.
It's like a referee comes out of nowhere.
I mean, y'all know, y'all see that one video with the chick. I guess she worked at an Amazon factory and she was beefing with some dude, and she fucking was arguing with him. So she went home and, like, she called up her man to come on lunch break, and he showed up, and I'm looking at the whole warehouse, and I'm like, yo, these niggas is wearing shorts and Rees and Tims and like this, like, I don't know, this nigga on some different shit at this warehouse, man. Like, you trying to like pull up and fight this nigga, man, gets body slammed 2 different ways. Like, I know y'all seen that shit. Dude was wearing the warehouse vest and everything. I'm like, God damn.
You don't mess with people who work in a warehouse. They are mad enough to be there. They will fight anyone.
Dude had to walk to the car. I'm like, man, like, that shit ain't go nowhere to the ground until he started slamming this nigga.
Warehouse workers and construction workers, just don't mess with them.
Yeah, but you see, and that's why you gotta fucking like train before you even say you gonna cop a gun, because the training gets you the alertness and the sixth sense and shit.
Yeah, and also how to control yourself with adrenaline.
Yeah, exactly.
When the heart rate is super high.
Niggas like, oh, spider senses are tingling. I see 2 niggas with Air Forces over there. But I think I'll walk this way.
Got the black ones. I gotta get out of here.
Like, yeah, you start clutching the heat real quick.
It's like, he's got black Tims? Oh, I'm going somewhere else.
Oh, man, but yeah, man, so we might have to revisit that poll, do it again another year or some shit, see if motherfuckers come out the woodworks. And but what if he does this? What, it start naming UFC random examples and shit. Because Masvidal, when he had ran up on dude, he had snuffed him. He didn't tackle him.
Yeah.
Even y'all old UFC niggas ain't even doing that shit.
They're gonna sock you in the jaw. They know better.
Oh man, so yeah.